stay. No. Please. So Turbo was quite annoyed with me by this point because a couple minutes before this, we were actually in a different area of this. We're in like a school parking lot or like recess area, but we were in a different area, like under a pavilion, and this guy came out of his car with his basketball, and his dog, with the dog and the frisbee. And the dog kind of just like bum rushed us and immediately wanted to play. And Turbo obviously wanted to play as well. And I told him, leave it. I told him, no, let's go. We're working. And so he was very frustrated. He didn't want to listen at the very beginning. And so this is where you can see a lot of like why he's panting already. Because like 10 minutes before this, you know, we had a big like bum rush over a dog. And that just totally like took him out of like training mode. So this is like the real reality. So what I'm saying is like, if I just give in to letting him not lay down or to letting him not sit, then he's going to realize like he could just wait it out. And so this is where like our patience come in, and where we're just kind of like, you have to sit, and you have to kind of like listen. And so if I let him not listen, I let him just kind of get away with it and stare at the dog and ignore me, right? Then he's going to realize, okay, Shanti's is just going to give in to me, and all I have to do is just wait 5 minutes or 10 minutes or whatever the case may be. And so my biggest saying is, you are more stubborn than the dog, which we very much are. We have more time on our hands. We have the will to do it. So once he realizes, okay, she's not going to give up, okay, fine, then I'll just lay down. And I don't have a treat in my hand. This is no treats, no anything. We're leaning away from the treats, and the treats only come out whenever he actually finishes the behavior. So after this, he realizes, okay, Shanti's not going to let me give up or give in. Or Shanti's not going to give in. So Shanti's not going to give in, so therefore I'm going to listen to her. And so this is going to be the biggest thing for me, is I realize, okay, we can't do stay anymore. We're going to, revamp and kind of go through there. And so the next few days we're going to work on other dogs, around, and kind of working him through that. He stood there, looked out into the distance. There's actually a person walking over there. And then I'm standing this leash is 15 feet, so that's probably another 20 feet away from him. I'm helping him make a good decision. And then I over-reward once he makes the decision that I want. Does that make sense? So let's say, for example, he continued to walk the opposite direction. Then I grab the leash and I shorten the lead. Freedom is earned. The freedom for him to walk around, the freedom for him to go sniff and do whatever he wants to do, that has to be earned. And he can't have those things if, for example, he were to walk away or to run away or do whatever. Now, he's making the decision to kind of just sit here, right? That is on him. Does that make sense? This is the behavior that you want to reward. You don't want to reward, him walking around doing whatever. You want to reward him making the decision to stay around you or to follow you. So you saw me walking kind of this way, right? And I turned around. I rewarded him for turning around with me and following me. And so that is how we work on recall. Not always practicing turbo come, right? We practice and can reward the behavior that we want to see in the long run. And the behavior that we want to see in the long run is him just constantly following us. So now he's back in his place. Turbo. So he has all this room to do whatever. And he wants to go on the place. And there's also a guy and a dog standing over there. So we actually started over there, and the guy came up and started throwing a frisbee with his dog. And then Turbo was way too much, right? Obviously, they were way too close for him to be able to focus on me and leave the dog. That's fine. Realistically, you know, how often are you going to be doing this type of training with another person or their dog around? Probably never, which is fine. But my biggest thing is, can he, you know, ignore all the other distractions while focusing on you? And if that's something that he's able to do, then walking through around your coworkers or walking through a park or whatever the case may be will be super easy if he can handle something that close. Right now it's too much. Doing basics like sit and stay, lay down and stay, those are just a bunch of reps, right? Which is fine. Good boy. Good boy. Those are just a bunch of reps. Is it very frustrating that he is not wanting to do sit back to back, lay down back to back? 100%. But for me, is at home, you're only going to tell him to do that once or twice. So like door manners, right? Can he sit and stay while you open the door and get your mail, or have someone come inside? That's what this is building up. Not for you to come to a giant field, you know, and tell him to sit and stay. That's not what I'm looking for. What all of this is basing on is real world application, right? Can he sit and stay, you know, for 5 feet while you tie your shoes? Can he sit and stay, can he sit and stay for 5 seconds while you tie your shoes? Can he sit and stay while you walk 5 feet away to get something and then come back? That's what I'm working on. So that way, realistically, when he comes home, these sit and stay, lay down and stay is super easy. This is what we want our dog to do, where he's choosing to be with you, he's choosing the person and the dog to ignore the person and the dog that's over there. There's people walking behind here. There's a person right across the street in their driveway that he could very much run over and do. I'm not holding on to the leash, but he is choosing to lay here and just enjoy the weather. This is what we reward, okay? So that way at home, when you do choose to go to a park or you do choose to do whatever, it's not a culture shock, or he understands what he's supposed to do. On Turbo. He's also just enjoying the weather. Turbo, come. Is that chilling? Turbo. Turbo. Good boy. Yep. Good boy. This is just on a slip lead. Good boy. Okay, come on. You're empty. There's nothing left. This is where we're going to walk up towards the dog that's up here. Come on, leave it. Don't be a sissy girl. Leave it. Let's go. Good boy. This way. Good boy. Good boy. No pulling. Good boy. Good job, Turbo. Good job, Turbo. Let's go. Pulling to the car.
Yeah.
using some social learning with Molly. Kind of seeing like, okay, oh, this dog is following, so I'm going to follow her as well. And rewarding him, just like with Turbo, when he makes a decision to come with me and follow me. Excuse me, rewarding that behavior. Turbo is more likely to just kind of like sit and relax and just enjoy the area, where like Diesel wants to continue to roam and continue to walk around and not necessarily like check in. As Turbo, like you saw in the last video, Turbo did some sniffing, peed here, peed there, and then came and laid down in the middle of us. That's what we want. But Diesel, I feel like right now, he's still peeing and sniffing, even though I gave him the time, you know, to pee and sniff. He's still not making that decision to stay near me, and I want to make sure that like he understands that. Which like that's also kind of, you'll see the difference in the breed as well. I mean, Shibas are very much more like independent dogs, whereas same as Huskies, but not as much as like Shibas. Molly, come. Diesel, come. Diesel. So he's sniffing and peeing. Diesel. Diesel. So now he's like, I'm actually gonna go. Diesel. Yep, Molly, go get him. Go get him. Molly. So like we talked about with Turbo, now your freedom is taken away, or now the option for you to be able to roam around is taken away. All right, Molly. So making sure that like he understands, okay, we gave you the chance to walk around and make a good decision. He was following, and like I was saying before, like with Turbo, he made the decision to kind of like sit in the middle of us and stay with us, whereas Diesel was like, I'm actually gonna go. And then now he's walking away. I called him, he looked back and was like, I'm not coming to you, and kept walking. So now I'm gonna go and grab him, and now he loses his reward, getting to be free and off. So that is gonna be like the biggest thing that, you know, is gonna be like his struggle, is making sure that he understands like he doesn't have the option to just walk away from you, right? That's gonna be the most important thing with recall, and we'll keep working with that. I feel like his stays, like sit and stay, he does not like to lay down for whatever reason, which I'm like, okay, whatever, it's fine. But his stays are much better than Turbo's, but Turbo's recall and like staying with you is much better than Diesel's. So that's the hardest part, is like when you have two dogs or having multiple dogs and they both struggle with two separate different things, that's going to be the biggest thing. And so making sure that we're utilizing that to our advantage and showing him like, okay, like when Diesel sits, like you saw in the video yesterday, when Diesel sits, I over reward. Good Diesel, good boy. So that way I can show that Turbo like, hey, he is getting a treat, you can do the same thing, get your treat too. And vice versa, like whenever we work together doing recall soon, I'm gonna over reward Turbo when he comes to me, so that way Diesel can see like, oh, that's what I'm supposed to do. And using that sort of like social learning like we're doing right now with Molly, so that way he understands like, okay, mom likes it when I do this, or mom likes it when I do that. And both boys are seeing each other and kind of working on their strengths together or their weaknesses together. Chasing a fly. All right.